Hello, everyone, and welcome to our December General Energy Report for 2023. Can you believe we are already in December? This is the last month before we hit 2024. And what an amazing 7 year it's been for a lot of us. So, before we get started in our, reading for this month, the cards I'm going to be using are, it's actually a whole night of Colette Baron Reid. It is Colette Baron Reid's postcards from Spirit, and that's going to be telling us what is our overall theme for the month of December. Then I'm going to be using Colette Baron Reid's The Enchanted Map, as well as Colette Baron Reid's The Wisdom of the Hidden Realms. And both of those decks are going to be paired with the spread from the Oracle of the Angels. And this time we're going to be using the Unfolding spread, which is 7 cards. And our first card is now this says self, but we're going to say collective. And so the collective dream and desire, the collective challenges, the resistances that are holding us back, the strengths, values that are moving us forward, muses, our inspiration, our creativity, our actions, our purpose, our unique contribution, and direction, next action steps. So those are going to be the card. That's going to kind of be the breakdown that we're going to use for this month. Just because last month I really enjoyed using the spread also from the Oracle of the Angels, except that was the Rainbow Chakra spread. So I just really enjoyed that one. So I said, let's try this one. So for this month, we are going to start with what's our theme. And I had shuffled the cards for the postcards from Spirit, and this card was on top. And I just felt, I was like, this is it. Like, this is the energy that we need to read from. So, of course, being the postcards from Spirit, this is it's literally just a message from Spirit. Now, I will give you any intuitive insights that I may have on it, or maybe added information, added tools that you can use. So it says, Dearest you, the common saying, be in the world but not of it, and wear the world loosely, refers to the need to be engaged with life while not being attached to specific outcomes. Okay, so what that right there, to me, what that's really telling us is saying, okay, we oftentimes think that we are the ones doing it. Like, I'm the doer. I'm doing this. I'm doing that. We're not the doers. We are the ones being done through. And who's doing things through us is really the question. Are we allowing our ego to kind of, go through the routine, the machinations, or are we allowing Spirit to take us on kind of these spontaneous, moves, or even in your basic routine? Are you allowing Spirit in, or are you just saying, well, I have to do the dishes? Can't Spirit be doing the dishes for you and through you? Can't you just be present in that moment and just aware? It says, do not take this world too personally. We know the ego takes everything super personal as an attack on it, as, oh, this person is doing this to me. Like, let's just say, for example, that you're a manager somewhere and someone calls off and you're like, oh, they're doing it on purpose. They're not necessarily doing it on purpose. The ego just likes to take everything really personal. It says, you are one of the many co-creators here to play, and we all have ideas about how this should all play out. Just know that the outcome doesn't matter as much as the presence that you bring to the experience. And it's the experience and how you let yourself flow through life. Again, what presence are you bringing? Are you in the presence of love? Are you in the presence of fear? What is your presence as you are doing whatever you're doing. Hey, Shirley, thanks for joining. Thanks for being here. So really being aware, really paying attention. Okay, well, where is my presence right now? Am I focused on the presence of love that I am, or am I focused on this fear that I think that I am? And are you taking action from there? So let's just take, for example, like what if you were sitting down and, you had to make a phone call, let's say by 5 o'clock, to someplace that closes at 6 or 5, we'll say 5:30. And so, maybe all day you're, furiously typing on your computer and you're just like, trying to get all your work done as fast as possible. Keep on looking at your watch being like, oh my God, I gotta make this call. Or are you present and aware in love and being like, you know what? I'm going to have plenty of time. Where are you? Where's your presence? Where's your focus? Where's your attention? So it says then, there's a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So will you wear the world loosely or will you wear it like a straitjacket? It is your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you are meant to. And we are meant to live in the moment, in the here, in the now. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan. So Spirit inviting us, let go of our plan, let go of our agenda, let go of the ego. And the way that it keeps on, showing up. Well, I need it to go this way. I need it to be that way. Let's just accept, the way things are currently playing out. Now, when people hear that, oftentimes there is a big resistance. It's like, what? I'm just supposed to accept that terrible things are happening? That's not it. And I like to use this example. So let's say that it's raining outside. Okay, so you have two choices. Choice number one, it's raining outside and I'm going to get cold and I'm going to get wet. And oh my gosh, this whole story about it. Or, okay, it's raining outside. You see the difference? One has like this big story around it and one is, okay, it's raining outside. And then from there, we take present action. So, okay, I'll need to bring an umbrella with me or maybe I'll need to wear some galoshes or whatever the case is. We take present moment action, not fearful reaction. Because fearful reaction is, the world is, it's raining outside, so the sky is falling. That's not where we want to be. So that is our general theme for the month of December is, and we'll just use this, be in the world, but not of it, and wear the world loosely. So now let's go to the enchanted map and let's kind of see what is the dream and the desire of the collective for December 2024. What's the dream and the desire for the collective? Ooh, okay. So it's not a surprise that this card comes up. Movement. So the dream and the desire for the collective for the month of December is about movement. And this is about mental movement, physical movement, emotional movement, and really just allowing ourselves to transition into 2024 and take those guided action steps. Now, just because we have that, there's also this card that also came out at the same time, which is stuck in the mud. And so that may seem like a big paradox, like, oh my gosh, Spirit, the collective is saying, we want to move, but we're stuck in the mud. The stuck in the mud card doesn't mean that you're actually stuck. Before we make a movement, we must be willing to re-examine, to look at, and it's really like a Mercury retrograde, if you will, kind of energy. Because it's just saying, okay, what do we need to re-examine? What do we need to re-look at? In order for us to truly move forward, what do we need to let go of? And that's all that it's asking us. So that's the dream and the desire for the month of December is movement, but movement from what no longer serves us. Movement in a very methodical way. Not, let's run, but just allowing ourselves to transition into 2023 unburdened by our own stories, our own thought patterns, our own beliefs. So really coming into that. So that is our first two cards. Now we're going to go to the resistance. What's going to be holding us back? And that's why I felt so drawn to the wisdom of the hidden realms, because this deck gets so deep into that. Okay? So let's see. So what is the resistance for 2024, December 2023? What is the resistance? What are we resisting as a collective? That movement forward, that letting go. All right. So our resistance card is beautiful, and I love it because it is the dueling dragons. And this is saying there's that inner conflict of wanting to let something go, but then at the same time wanting to hold on to it. And not only that, it's our conscious choice of what are we going to take with us along the way. Are we going to take these old stories? Are we going to take this old baggage? Are we going to take these burdens with us? And again, what are we going to be feeding in our minds? Are we going to be feeding spirit our focus and attention? Or are we going to continue to feed the ego our focus and attention? And just really paying attention to that and really being focused on who we are going to feed in our minds, making that conscious choice. So then we're going to move on to the inspiration. So what is going to be the inspiration that's going to be moving us forward? So what is the inspiration that's going to be moving us forward? All right. So the inspiration moving us forward is, oh, wow, I really love this. So the inspiration moving us forward is actually really interesting because it's two cards. Okay, so that this kind of seems to be the theme right now. So our first card is the Golden Palace. So, and this is beautiful because this is saying we're looking forward to, better times ahead. We're already priming our minds, priming our frequencies, our vibrations for better times. So that's kind of what's moving us forward. We're like, all right, I did a lot of work, in this 7-year, because that's what, this year of 2023 has been. It's a 7-year, so it's all about introspection, all about doing the work within. And now we're going to be moving into an 8-year, which is all about abundance and outward expressions. So that's why we have this card. Now, interesting, we then have this card, number 45, but it's actually in the reverse. So this is Sad Embrace. And we're going to read the quote that's right above that for number 45 in that protection position. And it just says, you're suffering. Oh, so I love this. So this is just saying that the suffering is over. If you're willing to drop the story, if you're willing to let it go, that's going to be what's moving us forward, is that we're done with the suffering. We're done with telling ourselves that story. We're done depriving ourselves. We're done alluding, saying, the love's out here. We've done a lot of that work. So I love that this is kind of what's moving us forward. That's really, really beautiful. So now let's go to our next one, or that's our inspiration. So our inspiration is that Golden Palace, seeing things, in a new light, and then that Sad Embrace, but in the protection position, saying, you know what? With the inspiration is I'm over the suffering. Like I'm done playing the victim role in that. So then our next one is creativity, and this is going to be our action. So let's see what's going to be our action to really step into all of this. Whoops. So our action is beautiful because it is the Fire Prince. Whoops. And the Fire Prince is all about optimism. It's all about using the passion, that we have. Now, fire is beautiful because fire can help to create something, but it can also be a destructive force. So this card is saying we move forward with passion, with excitement, but we're not a fuse going to, to the explosion. We're more like a sparkler, if you will, because, you light a sparkler and it just kind of, slowly burns down and, emanates that light. That's what Spirit says our action is. Our action is to be excited, to be passionate, but not to overdo it, to not burn ourselves at both ends, to not be a, quick burning flame, but to be very responsive to, what's coming up and not go into that aggression. Instead, we're in that passion, we're in that excitement, not aggression. And we're not trying to, burn down the whole entire city. We are having that controlled flame, that controlled, fire within our hearts and being like, yeah, I'm moving forward. I'm moving, my inspiration. Again, remember, moving past the suffering, our inspiration, moving towards better times. So our action is to move forward in that optimism, to move forward with excitement. Okay? So then let's go to our unique contribution. So what is our unique contribution just in the month of December? And this we'll say this is our purpose, we'll kind of say. Oh, wow. So I love this because, look at this card. Both of these have that beautiful illustration of coming to life. Because, you see the person in this card, really coming to life through the flames, and this person coming to life out of that stone. So this is, we're coming more fully into embodiment of the truth of who we are. As we come forward in excitement and optimism, we're really coming to life. And what that means is that we're not playing small anymore. We are not, just kind of playing at it. We're really coming into this new state of being if we allow ourselves to let go of the stories and to come forward in optimism and to see what needs to be taken with us and see what needs to be left behind. So really beautiful there. And then our last card is, we'll just call this our action. What is our action? Oh, hey, Carrie. I'm so glad you got to catch me as well. So our action, let's see. Our action here is actually really beautiful. It's discipline, armor, boundaries. So really it's saying that our action is to stay focused, to stay disciplined, and saying, okay, this is the way I'm going to be moving forward. Now, discipline doesn't mean that, you're super strict with yourself, and if you mess up, you fall down, that's it, it's done, it's over. No, it's not about discipline. It isn't about judgment, and it's not about punishing yourself. Discipline is simply allowing yourself grace, but not giving yourself excuses. And what's the difference? Giving yourself grace is, okay, I fell down. I'll give myself a minute to just, kind of nurse the wound, and then I'm going to go. However, giving yourself an excuse is, I fell down and now I need to sit here for 45 minutes. Or that's it, I can't get up now. We fall, it's okay. We get back up. We take the time we need to get up. No one's saying, I have to just immediately brush yourself off and be like, okay, nothing happened. It's fine. You fell down. That's our action. That's our, what the spread says, what is the next action step? The next action step is to move forward in that discipline, and to move forward. Again, it talks about boundaries and, saying no, but a high quality no. It's something that I recently read in Eric Tolle's book, A New Earth. A high quality no. No is a complete sentence, but a high quality no is very different than, just a normal no. So maybe you're practicing saying no or setting a boundary in whatever way, shape, or form. And, maybe you're new at it. And so someone asks you for something and you're like, no. And, you say it real forcefully. And, maybe the person's like, whoa, I was just asking a question. You're like, well, I'm setting boundaries. Okay. Or you could just, they'll come to you and be like, hey, can you help me move on Monday? No. So do you see, one is just, no, I can't help you move on Monday. And the other one is, no, I'm not helping you move on Monday because I'm setting boundaries. Do you really need to explain your no? Let's just go with that high quality no. So it's really setting that boundary for yourself as well. Saying no to those things that don't serve you anymore. Saying no to those stories and just being conscious of them. Something else that I really love that I've been reading about is, so many people ask, well, when will this healing be done? When will I get rid of my ego? Well, number one, you'll never get rid necessarily of the ego. What will happen is you'll stop identifying yourself with it. That's the whole key. The key isn't to get rid of the ego. The key is to stop identifying yourself as your ego and all of the ego roles and things and labels and all that stuff. That's all that it is. Once you stop identifying yourself with it and giving it focus, giving it attention, giving it energy, which is your focus, there you go. Everything works. Because again, now spirit's in charge. And it really, if we kind of look at the spread overall, that's really what the message is. So let's kind of do a little review. So what is the dream and the desire? The dream and the desire we have first is, remember, it's movement. So we want to move. We want to, move mentally, physically, emotionally. We're ready for that movement. But we're going to do it from this space of not necessarily moving full throttle, running to 2024. We're going to examine what we need to look at, what needs to be re-examined, what do we need to leave behind. And from there, then we have the resistance. And the resistance is that inner conflict that the ego is going to be like, no, look at me, focus on me. And we got to choose to feed our spirit more than our ego. And the ego is going to rage, it's going to come up, and it's okay. Again, we're giving ourselves grace. We're still learning how to disidentify from the ego. So that takes a little bit of time, and that's okay. And then what is our inspiration? Our inspiration is to move beyond suffering. We're ready to move beyond suffering and kind of get to a much better place in our own minds and in our own lives. And as we do that, we're going to be moving forward with optimism and excitement for what is to come. But we're not going to be a wildfire. We're going to be a controlled flame. And then from there, that means we're coming to life because we are allowing ourselves to truly embody more of the truth of who we are. We're letting more of the ego go. And as we do, our next action step is just to have that discipline. And again, remember, discipline doesn't mean that you can't have fun, that you can't do this, you can't do that. It just means you're not allowing yourself to make excuses anymore. You're going to give yourself grace. Okay, I fell down. I need to get a Band-Aid. Let me nurse this for a minute or so. And then let me move forward. Where, remember, the excuse is I fell down and now I can't move. I can't do anything. My whole life is ruined because, I didn't stay on the diet or because I had one off day. You had an off day. You had an off day. It's okay. We give ourselves the grace to move forward and we just get right back on the saddle the next day. That's all it takes. So and then of course our overall theme for this month is the common saying, be in the world, but not of it, and wear the world as a loose garment, referring to the need to engage with the world and while not being attached to specific outcomes. Really meaning letting go of your agenda, letting go of the way you think it should happen and how you think it should happen. Do not take this world too personally. Remember, if you're starting to take something that someone says or someone is, doing and you're taking it as a personal attack on you, take a step back and be like, wait a minute. And I'll tell you this story just because it's something that really relates to this. When I was first studying A Course in Miracles, I made the whole Course in Miracles like my whole entire life. I made it my personality. I made it everything. I really let my ego have it. I said, okay, ego, here you go. This is who we are now. We are now the Course in Miracles student. And everything I was talking about was Course in Miracles, which still to an extent is. I love the Course, but now I can see other wisdom. But then someone had insulted the Course in Miracles. And we're like, well, it's not really a good channel text. It's like a false channel text. And do I remember getting so angry and so upset, and I was going to type back and be like, well, you don't know, da-da-da-da-da. And then I had to stop, and I was like, wait a minute, why am I getting so upset? They're just talking about this book. This book doesn't mean anything. The Course in Miracles itself, there's one of the lessons, I believe it's 181, that says, forget this course. Like, forget it all, forget everything, and come wholly empty onto the divine. And I remember just taking that step back and being like, wait a minute, I am not the defender of the Course. I was just identifying myself with it. I was taking what this person said about the Course as a personal attack on me. And that's when I was like, whoa, 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 I need to take a step back, because I am starting to identify myself with a book. It's a book. That's all it is. It's a wonderful book. It's a book full of great wisdom, but it's just a book. For you are one of the many co-creators here to play and to have many ideas about how it should all play out. Just know that outcomes don't really matter as much as the presence you bring to the experience. What does that mean? Again, the presence that you bring. Are you in your ego or are you in spirit? Are you present in the moment, or are you thinking about what you should do or what you should have done about 10 minutes ago? Because if that's where you are, then yeah, you're in your ego. Again, we accept it, we acknowledge it. We're like, okay, but I want to be present. I want to be here and now, because we can only be present in our divine presence in the present moment. That's why it's all, present, presence, because it's all about the here and the now. Let yourself flow through life. There is a real freedom in knowing and accepting this. So again, accepting. What is it? To accept what is. Again, we go back to our example. It's raining outside. Either we can come from the egoic perspective. Oh my God, it's raining outside. This always happens when I plan something. It's going to be cold now. It's going to be wet, and I'm not going to get to do what I want. Da 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 da. Or okay, it's raining outside. I accept that it's raining. Doesn't mean you have to have a whole story about it. I just accept that it's raining. And then in that present moment, from that state of now, from that presence, okay, I need to put on my galoshes. I need to take out my umbrella. Done. Why does there have to be a big melodrama about it? Again, that's something the ego does. The melodrama of the ego. I actually think on my website, I have a vlog about the melodrama of the ego if you want to check that out. And then it says, okay, real freedom in knowing and accepting that. So will you wear the world loosely, or will you wear it like a straitjacket? It's your choice. Whatever happens, have the courage to keep trying to live as you're meant to. And again, how are we meant to live? In the present moment, in the here and now. And when it comes to manifesting, don't worry about the how or even the why. We have that covered. Everything is going to turn out exactly as it should. Spirit has a plan. So again, telling us, let go of what you think and what you think you know, and come wholly empty onto the divine and let it fill you. Let it work for you and let it work through you. So that is our December report. So I thank you for joining me. I thank you for being here. If you're curious about me or my services, then feel free to go check out my website. And I will see you all throughout the rest of the week through our rest of our posts. Bye for now.